This is Arum for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Delighted to say I've got Bob Arum with me in person. We must have done about 80 Zooms, Bob.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing, though, how you get to know each other, the Zooms, because you can, the Zooms are absolutely marvelous because you can see the other guy's face and his reaction, but of course nothing compares to a face-to-face live.
Absolutely. Well, the last time I interviewed you in person was at Crawford Porter in Las Vegas, but it's good to interview on British soil. How are you finding London? I know you love London.
Yeah, good. I mean, it's terrific. We haven't been back here, my wife and myself, since the pandemic started. It's almost 2 years, and it was wonderful going into the hotel, and the staff remembered us, and they were so happy to see us again, because I think we represented to them that happy days are here again.
Well, we've had a great lunch here. We've had a good day with Frank and yourself and Tyson, and we heard the news that Tyson Fury signed his part of the contract. April 23rd will be the date in the UK. We don't know where in the UK, but Dillian Whyte has still not signed the contract, Bob. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, he felt that his participation in the promotion of the fight demanded more money than he was entitled to in the purse bid. And he took that position. And we said, finally, no, if you don't want to be involved in the promotion, that's up to you. But you have to sign the WBC form contract, which we sent to him, and he has until the 19th of February to sign it, but I have no doubt that it will be signed, and his attorney told us as much. So I think the fact that we tried to accommodate him by giving him an upside at a certain level, I thought was the best thing to do, but his attorney felt that it wasn't adequate and turned it down. So now he's just going to sign the regular contract, and that contract will include 20% of the purse bid, less 10% of that amount, which is in escrow at the BC, and so he has an opportunity to win $4 million if he wins the fight, in addition to $7.3 million, which he's guaranteed to get. So that's as simple as that. And if he doesn't participate in the promotion, that's on him. I'm sure he'll have second thoughts about it. I mean, it's ridiculous for him not to, because it's better for his image in the future. And if he doesn't voluntarily participate in the promotion, I know you guys will be searching him out and getting statements from him. And also, we are blessed to have Frank and I as our fighter, Tyson Fury, who is the greatest promoter going.
Well, are you surprised by Dillian Whyte's silence? Obviously, he's waited a long time for this opportunity, for this world title shot. He's got this world title shot. We've heard a lot, as you said, from Tyson on social media, but we haven't heard from Dillian Whyte, and you said he hasn't signed the contract. So what do you think's going on in Team Whyte? Have you spoke to Team Whyte recently?
I never talked to Dillian Whyte ever.
Any of his lawyers or representatives?
Our lawyer is talking to his lawyer, and I think everything is now resolved by not being resolved. In other words, you're going to sign the bare bones WBC contract, and if he feels that gives him license not to work and appear in the promotion, he'll be missed, but not that badly missed.
Well, just to clarify something that took place before the purse bid, I know there was this talk about a step-aside deal happening, and it involved a lot of people, so it seemed far off. But Eddie Hearn has been on our channel a lot saying that, he believes firmly that Fury was not prepared to fight Alexander Usyk next. So from your point of view, why didn't Fury fight Usyk?
Because he was so... WBC said he had to fight Dillian Whyte. It was simple as that. And Dillian Whyte wasn't going to step aside for 2 fights to have Fury fight Usyk and then Fury to fight Joshua. And none of it made any sense, right? The step aside, it was all people, playing fantasy boxing. So, again, the idea that Fury is reluctant to fight Usyk is a joke. I mean, happy to fight Usyk. Not that Usyk isn't a terrific fighter, but they're all good fighters. And hopefully, from our standpoint, let Usyk go in and fight Joshua. And after he beats Joshua and Fury beats Dillian Whyte, they'll both come together and we'll make the fight. I mean, Usyk, while I don't promote him, and Eddie, of course, doesn't promote him, Usyk is my friend. He's a very good person. And so it's not going to be hard to make that fight, assuming that both guys win the fights this spring and summer.
Your good friend Igor Klimas, obviously you know very well through the Lomachenko deal, shared the same opinion that Tyson Fury didn't want to fight Alexander Usyk and he was holding up the step-aside deal. Did you see Igor's comments and did you speak to Igor about that?
Yeah, because it was illusory. Who was really putting up the money? Who has agreed to anything? It was all baloney. And the papers that were submitted to Usyk, to Fury, to Frank and myself made no sense. Said they were binding agreements. Well, what did that mean? Binding agreements. That the fighters would agree to Usyk would agree to fight Fury, was to get $40 million, and maybe they put in the $40 million would be paid in 50 years. Right? You don't sign a document like that. It was all, a bunch of nonsense.
Okay, well, we are where we are in terms of April 23rd. Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte get in the ring, which is great to see. On the other hand, we haven't heard an announcement on Usyk Joshua. What do you think's going on there, Bob?
That's none of my business. I mean, there's a rematch clause that Joshua has, that Hearns is the promoter, and I assume that fight will happen. Why it hasn't been announced, I have no idea. You have to direct that to Eddie. I know before I left, I talked to Igor Klimas, the manager of Usyk, and he says he's planning, and Usyk is planning, to fight Joshua at the end of May or first week in June at the latest. That's what he told me. Other than that, what do I know? Nothing. And you know more than I do.
Well, we have spoke to Eddie Hearn recently, and he put out quite a few things in terms of Fury's license, the contracts not being received, the deposit not being paid. Of course, the deposit's been paid. The contracts have been sent to Dillian, and Fury signed his part. But he did mention the license issue about Fury boxing in the UK. Can you make any comment on that, please, Bob?
Tyson Fury has become an American fighter. He has been licensed by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and his conduct in Nevada, both in and out of the ring, has been exemplary. And therefore, based on his license in Nevada, I am sure that the British board will respect that license, and it will be a non-issue. The problem with Eddie is he puts his nose without knowing in everybody else's business. I mean, look at the difference between Frank and myself. I mean, we don't opine on Eddie that maybe this, maybe that. It's none of our business. And because, frankly, we don't know. We have enough with our business. Eddie wants to put his nose in everybody else's business. But again, I put that up to the fact that he is still a novice in this business. I promoted fights with his father, who terrific guy. And his father would be appalled with Eddie's conduct.
Okay, well, that's the Fury Whyte situation dealt with. I just want to move on to a couple of other things. Shakur Stevenson, Oscar Valdez, where are we at that, Bob?
Done.
Brilliant.
April the 30th at the MGM Grand Garden in Las Vegas.
Fantastic. That will be some fight.
We got the contracts came back earlier this week.
Brilliant. And just to touch upon, I know you were speaking to Queensbury's YouTube channel about this just now, the light heavyweight situation. So we know Frank's guy Anthony Yard is the WBO #1, but you guys have made that unification between Beterbiev and Joe Smith Jr.?
Yeah, that'll take place in June, primarily because of Ramadan, where Beterbiev is very, very religious. And so after Ramadan, he can't fight during Ramadan, and after it's over, he has to start training. So that'll be the beginning of May. So we're making that fight for Madison Square Garden at the end of June. And then we're happy. The winner, I'm sure, is happy to make arrangements to come over to the UK to fight Yardy.
Okay, so that was going to be my next question. That Anthony Yard fight, whoever wins that fight between Smith Jr. and Beterbiev will have that WBO mandatory. I was wondering if you wanted to stage that as a top-ranked fight in America or do a co-promotion with Frank in the UK. So you're saying you're happy for your guy to come to the UK?
Yeah, we'll look down with Frank and see where the money is and where it makes the most sense. At the end of the day, it's the same ring. Right? And there's no big advantage one way or the other where the fight is. It's a question of economics. Where is the best place to do that fight, putting more money on the table for the fighters and the promoters?
Bob, I know Canelo was rumoured to be interested in a fight with Beterbiev, and you guys were looking to do a deal with Canelo to fight at light heavyweight. It looks like he's either going to go to the PBC and fight with Charlo or go to DAZN and fight with Bivol and Golovkin. So what happened with you guys and Canelo Alvarez?
I'm a very, very good friend with Eddie Reynosa, trainer of Canelo, lovely man, and also I've become very friendly with Canelo. And I respect both of them. And I respect them so much that I would not make a move to have them fight either Beterbiev or Joe Smith. They would make the move first, and I would see if I can afford to do that fight. But unless and until they do, it's not for me to push that fight because I value my friendship with them above all else. So if you're friends with people, you don't push them to do something. If they want to do it, they'll come to me and ask me to see if I could put it together. You understand?
I understand that.
And Eddie trains Oscar Valdez and is doing a tremendous job with him. Canelo comes to all of Valdez's fights. So, again, when the time comes for Canelo, if it comes, to fight either Joe Smith or Beterbiev, they will call me and let me know, because we're not strangers.
Listen, Bob Arum, thank you very much for your time on IFL TV. I will see you at the Fury Whyte press conference whenever that is in London. And of course, we move on to Glasgow, live on Sky Sports here and ESPN in the States for Josh Taylor, your man, who takes on Jack Catterall. That will be some week in Glasgow. So we'll see you in the UK much more, I hope.
Yeah. It was a pleasure to be here, it really is. I mean, and now that the American football season ends officially on Sunday, we're really cranking up to do like 3 events every month from now on, so a lot of work for us to do.
Thank you very much, Bob.